Welcome back to Big Fat Fish Cards. Today we're going to be talking about selling Pokemon cards. I know that's shocking. We're going to be talking about more Pokemon. Who could have guessed? Today we're going to talk about how to start selling cards, essentially with no budget, with no money. There's a couple of things that you can do, things that you can leverage to kind of start small and start to build your inventory and build your collection. That's exactly the way that I did it. I started with a little over $2,000, and now our inventory sits around 15, 16K usually. It's entirely possible starting with any budget, with no money, with just your cards, whatever. Number one is to start with your personal collection. As much as it sucks to sell, if you really want to get into selling, it is the best way to get started. It's inventory that's already sourced, and you can pretty much count it at 100% margin, right? You're making 100% profit because you probably don't really know what you bought things for. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's the best way to get started. The best way to get a little bump in your business and in your selling journey is to sell the stuff that you already have. And then step number two is going to be flipping cards on eBay or TCG Player. And there's a couple of ways to do this, right? Whether you can get source from Facebook Marketplace or from your local card show or from whatever. Selling them on eBay is going to be the easiest way because you probably don't have enough inventory to vend at a local card show or to get a table. But you might have enough to sell on eBay and take photos of your cards and list them there and make a decent amount of money. There's some ways to get cards for pretty cheap, and that'll be my third point here in a second. But selling on a platform that drives traffic for you is really important because you're probably not going to be able to sell on a website. You probably won't be able to sell in person unless you post them on Facebook, which is another good way. But Facebook, eBay, TCG Player, basically websites that sell your cards for you almost. They provide the traffic. Number three, the best way to get started, and the way that I got started, is actually getting cards from Whatnot. If you're on Whatnot a lot, there's some good deals to be had on singles. Just pull up, TCG Player or whatever like other screen you have, whatever website or app you like to use to comp cards. TCG Player, Collector, eBay, one of those things. Pull it up on the side, and whenever a card pops up for auction, look up, a reasonable price for it, and then keep in mind you're gonna have to pay sales tax. So if a card sells for $40, you can look at this card, like you look it up really quick and be like, okay, if the auction goes to 25, if it's 25 or less, I'll buy it. So you put your max bid at 25 and it goes for 24 and you get the card. You might make a decent amount of profit on that card. If you sell it on eBay for 40, or even if the market goes up and you sell it for 50 or 60, I've definitely had that happen before. The best one that I bought was a base set Blastoise. I got it for around $40. Sold it on eBay for 80, right? That's 100% margin. That's way better margin than I do right now. So Whatnot is an underutilized tool, I think, for sure. You can get a lot of steals. Maybe I'll come out with another video about tips for buying on Whatnot. That could be a whole separate category. But yeah, there's other ways to source, like eBay. If you go to auctions and you go to ending soonest, you can sometimes snipe some deals from there. Deals are harder to find nowadays. The market's obviously pretty tough for everybody, so good luck, but it's certainly possible. And I would say if you have anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, that is enough to vend your first card show. Local show, right? Small show. You're not going to go to front row. You're not going to go to Collecticon, but a local show at your local like fairgrounds or whatever is absolutely enough. And that's the best way to buy cards is at card shows. 100%, 100 times over. That's the way to do it. So, of course, there are plenty of ways to do it. So another way that you could start is start with booster boxes, right? Maybe you're ripping packs on Whatnot, or you want to sell it a different kind of way. That's absolutely fine. But I would say singles are the easiest to start with, and then branch out into sealed product. Pokemon Center ETBs, Forbidden Light ETBs, booster boxes, bundles, Japanese booster boxes, 151 ETBs. Definitely singles are the easiest way to start, and the easiest way to start is to sell what you already have. That way you don't have to worry about sourcing until you have a little bit of money. It takes a while to build up an inventory and to build up expensive cards, so don't feel like you're taking too long, right? I would expect it if you start from let's say you start from $100, right? Maybe in a couple months you could be up to like 500, up to 1,000, right? Any money that you can put in yourself also goes a long way. The faster you can get more inventory, the faster it'll snowball if you can continue to sell and continue to make money. And then you get into cards like this. It's backwards, but can't see it. Machamp Prime PSA 10 is pop 100. It's like worth like $1,000. This is like worth half of my inventory when I started, which is pretty crazy that I get to own cards like this. I've had a Sunbreon in a PSA 10. We had a Moonbreon at one point. So if you just stay consistent, keep flipping cards, keep buying on whatnot and stuff, eventually you could get to a point where you're buying cards that are worth more than what you started with for one single card. And then I have this, and I have $10,000 in other stuff too. So it's pretty crazy. It's a grind at the beginning for sure. It's pretty tough, but try to build a brand. Watch some of my other videos about how to start a brand, how to build a brand, and how to sell Pokemon cards better. Like, there's a couple videos that are on my page about that. But yeah, it's a struggle. It's a grind, especially in today's market. Maybe the best advice would be try to stick with it as long as possible. If you don't make a lot of money right now, that's okay. Stick with it until the market starts to slow down. That's when the deals come about. You can get some banger deals, some different types of like Japan deals, or you can buy singles really cheap because the market's crashing and people are worried that they're going to lose their house or whatever. People that have invested too much. So stick with it. And go watch some of my other videos. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe as always, and see you later.